In the previous video I started stripping down the old trailer I'd bought. The wooden frame was completely rotten, and for the purposes I was using it for, it didn't need a bed. Unfortunately the weather had other ideas, so for the most part I was halted and taking shelter indoors instead and giving Jez a hand. I got what I wanted done eventually, but the weather was slowing things right down. I could only hope it was going to improve. But tomorrow, rain. Monday, rain. Tuesday, not too bad. Wednesday, rain. This project is turning into a man slowly losing his rag with the weather. It's been like this for 2 weeks. Sun, then rain, then sun, then rain, then sun. And you just can't get anything done. I'd rather it just piss down solid. The two together, on and off, is just the most frustrating thing. The weather didn't improve, so I did what any logical person would do. Ripped the whole week off and left. So it's now Monday. I left Jez on Friday. There's just no point going back while it's like this. It's sunny one second, rainy the next. So I've admitted defeat, and I booked on a lovely little campsite, really small. There's only 5 plots, and a little stream going past. And the guy who runs it is an absolute darling. He must be in his 70s. And when I called up and asked, are they open and is the dog allowed and all that sort of stuff, I must have been on the phone to him for about half an hour. He was so up for having a chat with someone. It was lovely. We were joking, like, because it's getting quite boggy here. He goes, oh, don't worry, if you get stuck, it gives me an excuse to use my vintage tractor. And he was pointing to this old tractor over in the corner. So yeah, I booked on here for 2 days just so I can plug in, because the solar's shite. I've got work to do. And yeah, just giving up for 2 days basically. As and when we'll get back to the trailer and carry on once this rain stops. Another 2 days later and the weather finally started to improve, but not without leaving the entire area boggy and the stream now more of a river. It was so wet in fact that Amber just sank. Well, not ideal. So my amazing host got his excuse to have a play and fired up his adorable little Leyland tractor that by the sound of it is running on 3 cylinders, and I think he's throttling it with the choke. But with a huff and a puff it still pulled the van out like it was nothing. He pulled me right up to the hard standing and I was on my way, back to see if work could recommence on the trailer. Day 3, and although it was nice as I come out the door, guess what it's doing now? I'm just going to wire wheel all of the soft rush stuff off it, and if the rain allows it, I'm going to give it a quick coat up with hammerite just to tart it up a bit, make it look a bit better and protect it a bit. Yeah, I've got a few bits on order. I've got to get a new jockey wheel because, let me show you. Jockey wheel away. Oh, that's chewed. And now it won't go back down. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, that ain't right. I stuck a wire wheel in my drill because I wanted to make things awkward for myself, and got started, pulling away the flaking paint and surface rust so I could slap a good few coats of hammerite on it. Now before anyone comments in with why aren't I getting it sandblasted and primed and painted properly, I need to stress again, this trailer is not for full-time use. It's going down to the land and that's probably where it will stay. Therefore this whole project is on a budget. I also cut off the stalks for the old lights, as these would leave bare metal that I could now paint. Like the tow bar, there was a weld I just couldn't get into, so it needed some persuading. So quick lick of paint, get it all tarted back up, get this frame screwed down, double, triple check all the measurements, and then at some point this week, maybe next week, Jez is going to call his friend with a telehandler, and we're going to get that dropped on there. It is amazing what a few coats of paint will do. It's brought this old, haggard trailer right back to life. Once the wheels and coupling are done, it'll finish the whole thing off lovely. During all this, while I tentatively applied the paint, Lance was just, well, being Lance.
I thought he was over there.
Yeah, I did.
What? Oh, there he goes. Why is he looking up like the ball's going to be sitting on the top of the glass?
One tin of Hammerite, although I did run out for the hitch wheels, so I have to go get some more. Yeah, 10 times better. Right, before I paint the wheels, if I paint the wheels, I don't really want to keep these, to be honest. They're I don't like this look. Oh dear. And they're flaky. But better than black than silver, to be honest. So, but before I do that, yeah, I want to get these off so that I can check what the wheel bearings are saying. Pack that full of grease and get them back on. But I'm going to pretty much guarantee that's not going to come off. I was right, they were on. So Jez's friend James, who had popped in, offered to give me a hand. That's it, there's that way, not enough meat on it. So usually you just sort of hammer them side to side and then fall out, but this one's not playing ball. There she goes. I don't think it is the bearer. Ow. Someone knows what they're doing and copper greased all these. The castle nut out, isn't it? Because that's going round with the bearing. Let's try it. The bearings seemed okay, but I wanted to check over the brake shoes as well. This in theory just meant undoing the castle nut and sliding off the brake drum. But the brakes on this trailer are a little bit different, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me how they come apart. Oh, I don't know. I know that the brakes work, I know that the bearing's okay. So until I come round to do a service and have the parts to hand, I'm just going to leave them be. But not before packing everything with grease, because there is nothing in there. That is dry as a bone, so I'm going to pack that full. Lovely. Just sort of place that in there. Yeah. Noise is gone. And whilst I had the grease out, as much grease as I physically can. The difference that made. And with that side done, it was a complete copy paste on the other side. Next on the to-do list was rerunning the electrics. I drilled through each of the new beams to allow the wiring to pass through, and later, once it's on, the wire would also be attached to the underside of the box. I got the wire ran through, but time today was running out, so the rest would have to be done in 2 days' time when we'd be back for the big lift. That night before I shut off, me and Jez lit the bonfire and said farewell to all of the nasty rotten wood from the trailer. Despite being wet from all the rain that we'd had, it went up well.
Have you pooped? Did you poop? Look how trim you are. Hey? You were not happy with me, were you? Hmm? But you look so much better.
At least that's what I tell him. I did it wrong. Did all of his sides, got him all looking really nice. Then I do his armpits and his ears, all the stuff where it gets really matted and he gets problems. I did all them, then turned away and got distracted about something. Didn't put the guard back on and just tore a big number 1 into him. So now he's super trim. A few more bits in here now. Helping with stuff. Had to clear out the loft of the last remnants of my stuff. I've got that to play with at some point. And yeah, this thing. A friend of mine I used to work with asked if I could look after this for a bit. I did, put it in the boot of the van, it was there for ages. Then I got in touch with him, I was like, dude, when are you coming to pick it up? He'd left the job and moved to Devon, so just like, past 1.5 years this has been in my custody. So I think I'm going to have to end up just saying, look dude, let me chuck you some pennies for it and I'll have it. Got lights and bits under here now. These two, oh, nostalgia. I've had that for a long time. Not so long, but equally as important. When the Mini was in Mini magazine, these are in the office. Oh, I need to go up in the shed or something, or maybe even up in here. Who knows? Oh yeah, that needs to go in here. Can go in there. Or wind turbine. I'll get onto that in another video. That's helping today. Bloody warm. Right. Get some frames screwed on. Solid. This junction box connects the main plug at the front right the way down and then separates to the 2 rear lights. There we are. The metal might be useful. The lights less so. Ooh. GoPro mount is definitely useful. Plunk that on there. Tell you what, got nothing to complain about on the weather today. Whew. It's boiling. Yep. Now then, for this job. Here we are. Alright. Now we'll just go to the lights now, whenever I get them. I decided to give the box a quick sand up ready for its paint. I wasn't sure how well the paint was going to adhere anyway, being flexible fiberglass, but I wanted to give it its best shot. And now I'm going to sheepishly scoot you past these next few sections because I accidentally recorded a large portion of today in slow motion. So I'm going to speed a few of these clips up, not all of them because that will take days, and we'll all just pretend this little balls up never happened, shall we? I was jacking and propping the box up off the ground so that we had more clearance and could get underneath it. Hey, now the doors match. But we hadn't heard from Jez's farmer friend yet on whether he was going to bring a telehandler around today. Driving a massive telehandler here down loads of country lanes and avoiding traffic is no small feat, so I decided to see how far I could get the box up in the air. Maybe I could prop it up high enough just to slide the trailer underneath, and would then save the farmer the trip all the way here just to plop a box on a trailer for some idiot who thought it was a good idea. All was going relatively well until, well, didn't have the camera on, but we're back to square one. I'm here. So high up. 4 blocks. Shit. Oh, you f***. I just put my hand in the stinger, and that's far backwards. I think we're going back to the original plan. It's a bit precarious. After that first drop, I mean, it was only 4 high and it come down with a hell of a clout, and it's got to go up about there. So yeah, if it comes down again at that height, one, it could land on one of us. Obviously the dog's going to be away, so he's not an issue, but it's just a bit too, it's being silly. I like to be a bit silly, but it could end pretty nastily if that comes down a height. So, I mean, right there, you, stop, come here with the crane, lift. There's been about 3 builders merchants trucks gone past, and it's like, perfect. So yeah, Jez is calling the farmer now. Whether he can come down today or not, who knows, but we shall see.
That's perfect, thank you very much, mate.
In a fortunate turn of events, it turned out the farmer was coming anyway to drop off some fertiliser, and he just so happened to be coming in the telehandler. So until he arrived, I did a few more bits to the trailer to make sure it was ready for lifting, like removing the old plastic arches so they don't get in the way. And then Jez suggested a task that I'll never say no to, involving a certain little lawnmower. Ah, hello old friend. Jez had his turn going around the unit, and then I would genuinely do this for a job. I love mowing, and you know I'm buying one for the land in Portugal. Rather than hoist the box up in mid-air and then move it around just dangling, it made a lot more sense to move the trailer to it. So me and Jez set about positioning it using his Range Rover.
Okay. Oh, fancy.
Everything was now in position and lined up ready for the farmer's arrival. Although we'd been warned he's only got the short forks fitted, so we wouldn't be able to lift it the way I was hoping. It'd have to be a strap around job. 10 minutes later there was a rumbling down the track and our chariot had arrived. From the very get-go I was worried about this part of the project. The telehandler packed more than enough punch to lift the box into the sky. The straps we were using, however, looked a little past their sell-by date. Then as we took up the tension, the box let off a series of nasty cracks. But there was no going back now. All that's left to do is stand out the way and try and not shit my pants. That large crunch as the box seats is the sound of the wheel arches completely exploding. Yeah, my maths on this scale has never been that great, and the flanges of the box sit way lower than intended. And on contrast, the box sits way higher than intended. We removed the remnants of the arches and positioned the trailer back where it needed to be. Oh, yeah, it's locked. Yes. That is after we found out how the brake override works. Big moment. The box is now on. And it looks ridiculous. Oh no. Oh, I have to work some magic with this one. Yeah, see, if I'd have known, I've had to cut this out anyway. I'd have had to make new arches here. But unfortunately, because of that, that makes basically the wooden frame obsolete. So that might go somehow. Now it's on. Figure it out. You know, cut this arch out, I think. Okay, that's just now floating.